Real YouTubers talk about horsies. This little horsey is very strong. What am I? Oh yeah. This button. Hello. It's your boy, guy who talks about horses sometimes. Here to talk about another horse for you on horsechannel.com/wolfeyvghorse. Anyway, so figure it's been long enough. I'm not too concerned about spoilers anymore. I think most people are aware of the horses at this point. There's two new horses, okay? Horses are very interesting for a number of reasons. Number one, they're horses. Number two, they fuse. So we're talking about base horse forming today. For those of you who aren't aware, effectively there's two new Pokemon, Glastrier and Spectrier, which are two of the new legendary Pokemon introduced in the Crown Tundra. They're horses. One of them is pure Ice type, the one we're talking about today. The other is pure Ghost. And they're interesting. They can fuse with Calyrex, which are very, very powerful Pokemon. We're going to talk about the base form today, which are also good Pokemon on their own. So far, VGC 2021 is kind of developing. People are figuring out, figuring out stuff. And this Pokemon is actually considered pretty good. If we check the usage of it, I believe it's this one. Let's refresh the page because it's from a little bit ago. You can see it's actually the 6th most used Pokemon right now. Right after Regieleki, Metagross, Landorus, and Cinnamon, and Tapu Fini. So even has higher usage than Cartania right now, which is surprising. Even higher than Rillaboom and Tornadus. There's like a Tapu Koko, Dragapult. Like you can see, it's actually got really, really high usage. So it's currently considered like kind of like a top threat in the metagame. So let's talk about it some. Pure Ice type, which isn't traditionally thought of as the best defensively. It's a pretty solid offensive type, but defensively Ice isn't the best type. However, yeah, we'll talk more about it. The ability's cool. It's like Beast Boost, except for it's only the attack stat, but whenever it gets a knockout, it gets an attack boost, which is very, very valuable. Next, we'll look at the stats. So when we look at the stats, we see... Oh, I should probably zoom in some more for people who like when I zoom in. The stats are really interesting. You can see that it has base 100 HP, very, very good. Base 145 attack, very, very good. Base 130 defense, very, very good. Base 110 special defense, good. Special attack doesn't matter. And then a really low base speed stat, which is also very, very good. If this Pokemon were faster, it would actually be worse. The reason is that this Pokemon really functions well in Trick Room. It's a really good Trick Room abuser, and people are running out with Weakness Policy right now. So keep in mind, whenever it gets a knockout, it gets an attack boost. Weakness Policy allows you to double your attack. And it also has really high base attack, and it can Dynamax and like just be really strong. So this is a Pokemon with a lot of options. It's got great natural bulk, really good offense, and a really low base speed stat, which helps it a lot. Overall, phenomenal stats. Additionally, to make like it even stronger, it has like a really good ability. Again, Ice isn't the best type, but like honestly, okay, you're weak to Steel, you're weak to Rock, you're weak to Fighting, you're weak to Fire. 4 weaknesses, and like yes, they are common types, but like offensively, you're pretty strong. You hit Grass, which is really big right now. You hit Flying, or sorry, Grass isn't that big, but Flying is super big right now. And you hit Ground. So, like, you destroy Landorus even after Intimidate because you're an Ice type. You hit Grass for effective. You hit Flying. Like, there's so many Flying types right now. You're super strong, so some of these frailer Pokemon, like Regieleki, take massive damage from you. Yeah, and it has really good coverage moves, which we'll talk about. So this is a Pokemon that has actually just a phenomenal moveset across the board. Icicle Crash, solid stab move. Only 90% accurate, which is risky, but you're Dynamaxing it a lot of the time, so it's kind of okay. Swords Dance, Taunt, like Iron Defense, these are all good support moves, but you're probably not going to run them. This Pokemon is a pretty straightforward set, which is Icicle Crash, Protect, and then coverage moves. So, getting into the coverage moves, you see some decent ones like Assurance, Bulldoze, Snarl, but then you see moves like here. So we've got Steel and Ground type moves already. Steel and Ground are very, very good moves to have for coverage, which we'll talk a little bit about. But yeah, Smart Strike and Stomping Tantrum. Already we have some good coverage moves. If we go even further, you see Outrage, Mega Horn, Crunch, some like stronger versions. But then we get moves like Super Power in close combat, so really good fighting coverage. High Horsepower, which is a stronger version of the Stomping Tantrum. And Lash Out, which is like a solid move overall. But yeah, like not the best, I would say. So overall, you've got really good coverage moves here. You've got some good support moves in Swords Dance and Taunt. I don't think you run them most of the time, but you do have the option. You've got some nice offensive support moves like Bulldoze and Snarl. And then you have good coverage moves like Mega Horn, Superpower, Crunch, Smart Strike, etc., etc. And then, yeah, you have some more setup moves as well. Iron Defense, High Horsepower, Heavy Slam. So overall, this thing is super strong. If we want to go ahead and take a look at the sets people are using right now, I know what I would use personally, but let's zoom in a little bit here. Should be good. Okay. Cool. So if we take a look at the sets that people are using right now, let's see. Currently, the moves are Icicle Crash, Protect, High Horsepower, Close Combat, and closely followed by Heavy Slam or Smart Strike. I think this makes a lot of sense. The default set here, I think, is going to be Weakness Policy. Oh, I didn't make the format correct. Weakness Policy is the default set right now. I don't know if that's going to last, but it is very scary. Protect, Icicle Crash, Close Combat, High Horsepower, and you could drop High Close Combat for Smart Strike or Heavy Slam as well. Most of the time, your EVs are going to be something like this because you don't invest in speed at all because of the because of the Trick Room nature, and then the rest of it goes into your, like, this is like high base defenses, like it's not low base HP, but like you get more from investing in HP here unless you want to survive specific things. So I think this is a super solid, like, this is going to be your default set, right? If you're like, I love Glastrier, it's my favorite Pokemon of all time, I want to win games with Glastrier, start with this, pair it with Dusclops, with Rock Tomb, or Brick Break, activate your own Weakness Policy, set up late game with this, just win the game, it should be easy. That's my first impression. However, there's certainly other things you can do with it. One of those things is you can run Assault Vest. So it does have really nice natural bulk. This is going to be a similar set. I think that you can run Icicle Crash as usual. I think you run High Horsepower. If you want, you could run Body Press here because you don't really want to drop your bulk with this thing. And this also protects you from being intimidated. So I think Body Press might be good. Like, you're probably still running a spread pretty close to this. It's going to depend, I guess, on the metagame, I would say. Yeah, like, this depends on the metagame. I think, like, depending on, like, if you want Body Press or Close Combat. And then your last move, Smart Strike is always solid. Heavy Slam is solid. Snarl, Bulldoze are good support moves. It's kind of up to you, in my opinion. But yeah, I think that this set is definitely solid as well. It doesn't have as much offensive power, but it's very bulky. The reason why I kind of like... One of the reasons Glastrier is good, I think, is because the max moves are really good. Close Combat raises your attack, meaning you can, like, you have so many ways of boosting your attack via your ability, via Close Combat, and versus Weakness Policy, or via Weakness Policy. Icicle Crash is just a solid max move, like, it hits a lot of Pokemon for good damage. But High Horsepower boosts your Special Defense, which, like, of your stats here, like, you want speed to be slow and you don't care about Special Attacks, so Special Defense is your lowest stat, effectively. And so, like, High Horsepower boosting your Special Defense takes a really physically bulky Pokemon and makes it, like, it's especially bulky as well. Like, Special Bulk is not bad at all, but it makes it, like, actually insanely specially bulky. And one of the reasons I like this Glastrier set is because with Heavy Slam, you can boost your defense as well. I think that's also a reason to run Heavy Slam over Close Combat. Like, I might try this personally to start. Like, it's just that fighting coverage is kind of nice, but being able to boost, like, the defenses of you and your partner is very valuable, especially if your partner is a bulky Trick Room setter such as Dusclops. So, yeah, this Pokemon is very, very, very strong. Oh, I froze. I'm sorry. My cameras are giving me problems. Dang, I had it open for a whole nother recording and it didn't freeze, but it's fine. Okay, I'm back. I wonder how long it's been like that. I didn't even check. Anyway, yeah, so this thing is just, like, very, very, very powerful. And yeah, like, with +1 or +2, it should one-shot everything, minus maybe Tapu Fini. +1, it probably doesn't one-shot Tapu Fini, but, like, +2 Oshiko's Metagross, +1 Oko's Incineroar, Yuoko Regieleki at neutral. Max Steel Spike is also better against opposing Glastrier, so that's, like, another reason why I'd lead Heavy Slam here. The weakness of Heavy Slam is, like, you need to Dynamax it or else it won't really work against a lot of Pokemon, so it's a little situational. But yeah, in terms of other sets, like, I'm not entirely sure what else could be good, truthfully. Like, I think... Like, it has some good support moves, like Snarl, like Taunt, like Bulldoze. Bulldoze is okay. I wouldn't say Bulldoze is actually very good right now. Not on this Pokemon, it's too slow to use it, really. But you could run Snarl, I guess, and Icy Wind. Like, I guess you could run, like, what you could do is, like, say, okay, this isn't a good set, so don't use it, but, like, Icy Wind, Snarl, Bulldoze, and then Attack, right? Like, Icicle Crash. And just say, like, okay, I'm gonna be, like, incredibly bulky and hard to remove, right? And then do, like, yeah. Like, it's not a good set, but you can do it if you want. Wait, Icy Wind means you don't need Bulldoze. What am I saying? This should be Body Press. Wait, Icy Wind means you don't need Bulldoze. Yeah, like, this isn't a good set, but, like, you could do it if you wanted and just be, like, really bulky overall. Just, like, a super bulky support Pokemon. I don't think it's super good. I think you're way better off with either a full offensive set or, like, an offensive and bulky set. But you could do this as well. Other alternatives, like, let's say you don't have a team that really activates the weakness policy. I think Lumberry could be good on a set like this. I think Lumberry could be good. I think you could run Life Orb as well. I don't think this is the best Life Orb user, but it will give you more immediate power. And again, like, you really want to take KOs with this thing because it gives you the ability to, like, just, like, snowball like boosts and become like really unstoppable. Because the ability is a built-in like boost, like you're somewhat incentivized for playing it more aggressively. I think Lumberry could be good. I think Life Orb could be okay. I wouldn't even be opposed to White Herb, honestly. Like if the metagame is really Intimidate heavy, which like we have two of the best Intimidators. We have the two best Intimidators in the game right now, and Salamis and Incineroar being Landorus, Styrian form, and Incineroar being popular. But on the other hand, like there's a lot of counters to them right now, and like there's a lot of Defiant Mons, a lot of Mons that got like Inner Focus got buffed with like Entei and Suicune and stuff. So yeah, but they'll still be popular for sure. So I wouldn't be opposed to White Herb. I wouldn't be opposed to Life Orb. I think Lumberry could be solid. There's probably some other sets as well. I think this Pokemon has more depth. Did you see me bite my tongue? By the way, it kind of hurt. This Pokemon has more depth than just like basic weakness policy stuff, but I also think weakness policy is really solid. I just dislike that Rock Tomb is normally the thing used to activate it because Rock Tomb misses, but you can use Brick Break as well. But like Bulldoze is just better because that way Follow Me or Reach Better don't beat it. Additionally, you could run Safety Goggles on this thing because I think Amoonguss should be somewhat popular, but like since you one-shot Amoonguss anyway, I mean you are speed tying with it. I think maybe Goggles could be okay as well. Goggles, Lumberry, Life Orb, but your EVs are going to be pretty much this every time. Like it's just the EVs you see on screen right now, and then. Yeah, like different item or different moves, but yeah, most of the time, unless like almost every time you're going to be running EV something like this. And as the metagame develops, you might want to EV for specific things, but this is where I would start. So that's Ice Horse. I think it's pretty solid. I think it's actually really strong. So if you haven't chosen a horse yet, I recommend getting this one and resetting for 0 speed. I chose Ghost Horse because I'm stupid. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe Ghost Horse. I don't know. Like Ghost Horse I think it could still be good. We'll talk about that soon. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think about Ice Horse in the comments down below. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.